Hi guys, my name's Shane. I've been a flooring contractor now for 16 years and a vinyl layer for 23. I was getting increasingly frustrated with the amount of times my phone was ringing on a daily basis. A typical scenario for me was it's 9 o'clock, retailer rings me up, hey Shane, I've got a 10 metre or 2 metre on board, customer wants the 8. I stop what I'm doing, I go down to my diary, I say no, I can do the 9th, they say it should be alright, let me get back to the customer. Retailer rings the customer back, customer says no, they won't work for me, what about the 10th? They ring me back, I'm using power tools, I don't hear my phone. The point is, we were going round and round and round trying to book in these jobs, trying to keep all three parties happy, customer obviously, retailer, contractor. It was starting to do my head in, to be honest. It was taking me away from my core job of laying flooring. So I started thinking there must be some software out there that could do this. We looked around and there wasn't anything that quite fitted our mould. So we talked about this for about a year and a half, put a lot down on paper, and we started creating Clockit. Now Clockit allows me to work across multiple retailers. They can see my availabilities, but only my availabilities. Each retailer can't see what the other retailer's doing, so it keeps the whole thing private. So now I'm just going to run you through the software and how it works. It is going to take 12 minutes, so grab a cuppa and enjoy.
Clockit works by both the retailer and installers having their own Clockit accounts. Clockit is a cloud-based system and is accessed through a login page via app.clockit.co.nz. The screen you are looking at now is through a retailer's account. You are looking at a view we call Board View. You can see down the left-hand side the retailer's list of installers. Clockit is not a free-for-all. Installers and retailers must send each other a work request, and the other party must accept the request prior to work commencing. This can be done through Settings, Manage Layers, and from there you can search for installers. We see this as a virtual handshake between both parties agreeing to work together. Once the relationship has been confirmed, that installer will appear on the retailer's list of installers down this left-hand side. That retailer can now see the installer's availabilities. You can see the blank boxes here are the installer's availabilities, the coloured boxes here are the jobs that the retailer has booked in with the installer, and the striped out boxes are the installer's unavailable days, where they may be working for another retailer or on holiday, etc. From this page, we can now add a standard job. You are then taken through to another page where you choose the product that is being installed. Those capable of installing the product will appear accordingly. Select the installer. You can now view their availabilities for 4 weeks. You will notice that each day is divided into 4 slots. A job can be booked in for a quarter of a day, half a day, a full day, or over multiple days. Let's say the customer wants the job on the 25th. Simply select the slots, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click Place Hold and add job details. As I mentioned before, Clockit is a live cloud-based system, so all activity that is happening on the retailer's end is also happening live on the installer's smartphone or smart device, keeping him in the loop. We have now put the installer's phone on the screen to show you what happens in live time on their phone. You can see that on the installer's device, a hold has been placed on the date of the 25th. This hold now avoids any double bookings from another retailer. The installer cannot remove that hold until the retailer has completed the required job sheet. The job sheet is very basic, tick boxes and all the relevant information that the installer is looking for. The retailer can now upload any other documents, plans, or photos. They add the customer details, the address, which is linked to Google Maps, the phone numbers, and the email address. The retailer also has the option to notify the end customer by email or notify the end customer by text message by confirming the date of the job. This keeps all 3 parties receiving the same information. The retailer can add any notes they feel relevant. Once the retailer has completed the job sheet, they can now click Confirm. The installer has now also received a text message and email confirming the date of the job. On the installer's smart device, they will also notice that the hold has changed to a confirmed job. The installer can now click on that job, which will bring up a small box with some basic information. One click through to more info will take the installer to the entire job sheet that was completed by the retailer. They'll also be able to click through to any attachments or plans the retailer has added. There is also a history at the bottom of the page which cannot be changed by either party. This history lists when the job was booked in, who it was booked in by, and if it has been edited. This history helps to cut out much of the he said, she said that we often find in the industry. So the retailer has now successfully booked a job with the installer. We haven't had to make multiple phone calls to do so, and we have provided the installer with the relevant information that they need to complete the job and make good time management decisions. As the retailer, you can now go back to your board view and see the job you booked in. You can search that job by reference number, customer name, or address. If that customer were to now ring and reschedule, simply click on the job and click Reschedule. You are then taken back to the slot selector, where you can now give the end customer multiple days of when that particular installer can complete the job. If the job was very date specific and that installer couldn't complete the job on that day, you could change the installer to find the particular availability. For argument's sake, let's say the customer wants the job on the 27th. Click on that date, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click Save. Once again, all three parties in this transaction are kept in the loop. Your diary, the installer's diary, and the end customers will have all received the same date. You can see in live time on the installer's calendar the job has jumped out of the 25th and into the 27th. The installer and customer also received a text message and email confirming this reschedule. Another function built into Clockit allows retailers to post a short notice job. Clockit, once again, is not a free-for-all. However, short notice has been designed for the occasions when a job needs to be done urgently, and all of the retailer's current installers are unavailable. Short notice only allows jobs to be posted for the current day or the following day. The job is then listed to all installers using the Clockit system, and from there, installers may apply for the job. The retailer clicks on Add a short notice job. They then choose the product. They can title the listing and can also put an expiry time. A retailer may only want to post the job for several hours, as a customer may need to know by a certain time if the job can go ahead. Once the retailer enters all the relevant details, they can then post the job. You will notice, as an installer on the Clockit system, that you have received an email informing you that a new short notice job has been listed. You'll also see a pop-up on your Clockit screen. You can click through to the short notice job, which will provide you with the details. On the other side of town, on the same day, an installer's existing job, for whatever reason, may have fallen over. That installer can now apply for the short notice job, which immediately sends a message back to the retailer informing them that an installer has applied for the job. Keep in mind that this installer may have never met this retailer before. That retailer can view the installer's profile and choose whether they accept their application. The retailer may have multiple installers apply. Once the retailer is chosen and accepted the installer is immediately notified. Clockit has also built a convenient way for retailers and installers to complete a risk assessment for each project and record health and safety documents. You'll notice to the top of your screen there is a health and safety icon. As a retailer or measurer going on site, you can generate a new hazard register and complete risk assessments for the particular project. Once you've completed that risk assessment, it is saved and stored in the cloud until you win that job. Once we have confirmation of the job, we can then tag it onto the job sheet for the installer to view and then complete his own assessment. This is done by clicking on Add New Hazard Register. The relevant fields are then completed. The details of the project may be taken down by someone in the office, in which case they may just enter the customer details and take down any notes they feel necessary. They can then choose to set all hazards to no until the measurer is on site and can complete the report entirely. Once the measurer is on site, they can start identifying any hazards that they can see and foresee for themselves and the installer. They may want to note how they should be addressed or any additional controls they feel necessary. The measurer can also upload any photos that they may want to document. The system allows for any other completed health and safety reports to be uploaded. These photos and any other documents will be timestamped when they are uploaded. Once a health and safety register has been completed and saved and the customer is given the go-ahead for the job, you can now go through the scheduling process. Click on Add a Standard Job. Choose the product, the installer, and the date. You will notice at the very top of the job sheet there is a field titled Hazard Register. This is where you can search for the initial report that you completed for the project. You can search by customer name, address, or reference number. Once you have found the correct report, you can add it to the job sheet. This report will now be sent alongside the job sheet to the installer when you confirm the job. You can also see as the retailer that you have attached an initial report to the job sheet, as there is a small black coloured health and safety icon in the top right hand corner of the job. The installer now has the job confirmed, and on the day of the job they will have the opportunity to complete their own report. The installer can do this by clicking on the job and selecting Complete Health and Safety Report. This will take the installer through to a page which has their information already entered, the customer information already completed, and the original report completed by the retailer. The installer can view the hazards identified by the retailer and any photos or attachments they have uploaded. The installer cannot change the retailer's report, but does have the opportunity to generate his own. At the bottom of the page, there are two options for the installer. They can either accept this report as it is, or they can generate a new report and change the hazards. If they choose to generate a new report, they will now have the opportunity to identify and address any new hazards. They can also upload any photos or any other health and safety reports that they have completed. Once again, all photos will be timestamped once uploaded. When the installer is satisfied that they have completed their report, they can now click Save. Retailers will now be able to see that the installer has completed their health and safety report, as the colour of the health and safety icon has changed from black to green. The retailer can now click on that job and view the installer's report, which will also contain any photos or other documents that they have uploaded. The report is now stored for both the retailer and the installer for years to come.